this body of new work by Teena McCarthy. How it came about is a little while ago, Tracy Morton, the artist, was traveling along somewhere northern New South Wales, and she saw this house as she was driving through, and just fell in love with it. So she actually got out, and then went and find out who the owner is in this farm, and she basically offered to turn that house into an art installation. And so I think Teena was inspired by this body of work. In fact, Tracy encouraged her to do something with it. And so she actually spent a few days there to get a series of photographs. They are her new body of work. So very, very, very fortunate to have them shown here today. So she's been working on it for quite a long time. But to open the exhibition, we have Professor or Dr. Paul Thomas. He used to actually, he was actually there at COVA when Teena was a student. I believe that she's one of the top students there when she was studying there. So I'd like you to welcome Paul Thomas.
Thank you. I think you said you were going to say something about the knowledge of country.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. No, almost. But I'd just like to acknowledge elders past, present, and emerging, especially if there's any of you in the room. I'd like to say welcome to all and every one of you, and a huge thank you for turning out today. I was very lucky in regards to doing this series. It was a privilege to be able to go to country and heal. I'd had a couple of rough years, so healing was necessary. Going to the bush is all I wanted to do. So when I went out there initially for a day, I ended up staying 4 days and nights to shoot this series, which the ghosts did play with the lights a little, but I shot it around the clock. So all sorts of hours from 2:40 a.m. to, magic hour to lunchtime. So they're all different times of the day. And I'd like to also just thank Tracy Moffat for the wonderful opportunity I was given. Thank you very much.
I think they've just about said everything. She's said everything. It's like I'm just standing on the peripheries of life again. But I, as you said, I met Teena at COVA, and I was, I just started at COVA. I've been working in Western Australia. So meeting Teena was like meeting a tornado in first year. She wasn't, she was a mature student. She knew what she wanted, but without knowing what she wanted. But she wanted something, and she wanted it badly. And so she had a great attitude. And this attitude, I think, is so important, that carries you on, that makes something happen. And so she was determined, she had tenacity, she was thoughtful, and she was inquisitive. And to some extent, she was intuitive in the way that she saw the world. And that intuition wasn't necessarily killed by the institutions, and sometimes institutions can kind of kill intuition, because you have to have a concept, you have to research concept, and so on and so forth. And where does that fit in with my intuition? I don't know. And so, but she never lost that intuition. And not only did she see the potential in things when we were doing a project together, she saw that she could use a kind of serendipitous ability of always being in this kind of strange world of machine gun poetry that she lives in, where everything, she was seeing multiple things all colliding together in the same place. And it's not that she just mirrored the world, you know, like, I see this beautiful thing, I paint it, there it is, it's another version of the beautiful thing. She internalized it to the point where she then expressed something that was inner, mixed in with the outer. And I think it's so important that there's sensations that we experience, that we express something about those experiences. And, you know, it just adds to a kind of language that gives us this feeling that there's a certain amount of courage that's needed to take on a project like this and express something personal through it. And I think she's done a fantastic job. And so this sort of erratic thing is also found in the poetry that she does. I don't know if any of you know the sort of futurist machine gun poetry or concrete poetry. There's sort of where it just seems to flow. And I was always, in class, I was always wanting her to be Jack Kerouac in On the Road and just firing out this machine gun with a saxophone behind it. You know, oh my God, I can just see this now. It's so cool. And therefore it was always difficult because assessment was always hard when you were in a classical institution. But she was remarkable, she is remarkable, and I think she's had a remarkable life, and she lets you in to see little bits of it through her poetry, and that's very kind of her. It's a gift. And I won't go any more than that. That was enough, yeah. Read what's the word.
Thank you, Paul. So for anyone who is interested in this new series of work, you should come and see me.